Hey everybody, this is Max Burridge and
Leo Cohen.
And you're here with us talking about some really realistic real estate stories in the real life of real estate. Leo, you had an interesting transaction recently that just wrapped up.
Oh, such a great intro. Yes, I did. It was a property here in Bellingham, 13 acres, 2 separate tax parcels, a lot of layers to it. Big house, amazing view, really close to town, and it was a long process. And I think people don't necessarily know the whole timeline. They see what's above the sea level. They see the tip of the iceberg. They don't see what happens below. But this was about a year in process from when the seller contacted me about potentially wanting to sell to getting to the point where we sat down, did a pricing consultation, got a pre-inspection, went through all the process of getting bids from contractors, getting a ballpark idea of what it's going to cost. Do they want to do these things? Do they not? Are the buyers going to do it? Are they not going to do it? We gathered as much information to position this house the best we possibly could. So there was a huge amount of runway before we actually listed the property. And I see it happen with you too, with your listings, where people see it go on the market and they go, it's a great listing. It's presented really well. Max crushed it. The marketing team did really well. The clients are happy, but there's this whole runway up.
Sure.
Right? You know what I mean?
It doesn't all just happen like that.
No, it does. You just snap your finger and it happens.
So you did a lot of work to get it on the market, to get it prepared to go on the market, and then how did that go? You hit the market. What happened next?
Well, the big concern was, rates being really high. I mean, this isn't a price point where there are a lot of cash buyers. This is a higher price point, what's considered luxury in Bellingham. And so, you have these hesitations. Like we were very much ingrained in data and focusing on what's happening with interest rates, what's happening with inventory, what's happening with median to close price, where are the buyers, how many properties in that price range are trading every single year. So all of these things, I'm going, the indicators are showing this is an interesting time to list a property. I mean, we're talking September, right, going into fall, which is kind of inconsistent. It can be really busy. You've had some great months in the fall, and it can be completely dead. You just don't know. And so there was a lot of unknowns, and so my suggestion was to really be strategic on how we price, and strategic meaning don't overprice it, especially since it had some deferred maintenance, it needed some work to be done. So we have this process here from the marketing side. I won't get into that side because it's amazing and I don't do it. Amazing people do that for us. But from the networking, Taylor right there, but from the networking side and getting it out there, and really, and you've done this on your listings as well, Brokers Open was really important.
That was great, yeah.
You guys were there. A lot of eyeballs on the property, getting feedback from brokers on, is it too, honest feedback, is this overpriced? How's the condition? What are your favorite parts of the house? All of these kind of little details that add up to how I can go to the sellers and say, hey, I think we hit the mark on this. Open houses, selfishly I liked sitting up there and staring at the view in a beautiful month of the year.
Beautiful, yeah.
I mean, you're looking at all of Bellingham. It was great, but the open houses were really busy. Had a couple people that were interested, and we ended up getting an offer right off the bat 3 days after.
Yeah, right after the first weekend there, huh?
So that was surprising to me.
Yeah. And what was that offer like?
Well, the first offer was pretty low. The buyer had an opinion on what the price was. We didn't agree on that. We said, thank you for the offer, but, come back with a better offer, or we're just going to kind of stay on the market, because we were expecting this we talk about expectations of 30 to 40 days on market. So that was the expectation. We were very early on the market. And they ended up coming back and writing a full price offer that was cash. It did have a lot of contingencies to go through. And so I did explain to my sellers that, although this is a cash offer, it's full price, the buyers they've shown their card that they wanted it lower.
Yeah.
They're probably going to try to use all these. It's going to be a grind to get through these contingencies. We're going to have to take it one step at a time. Are you game to do this? Because I can handle this. You just have to not get frustrated, be patient, which they did, and just take it one step at a time.
And without getting too deep on any one of them, what were those contingencies? What do they have, the buyers have available to them there?
Gosh, since it was a cash purchase, they included an appraisal contingency, which they just wanted to verify, the value, which fair, okay. They wanted an inspection contingency, which was a little redundant since we had done a pre-inspection with a reputable local inspector. They wanted that. And there was a few other contingencies, like a septic inspection, a title contingency, but all pretty standard stuff. And it's 13 acres, 2 parcels. It's on water district 7, but it's also on a septic system. And so there was just, if I were the buyer, I'd want to have those in place to do my due diligence. A myriad of different timelines and all sorts of different things, and it was super helpful having Chris organize that into our transaction timeline so we could have it on a calendar, making sure we were knocking these things out one at a time.
And something I was just thinking of as you said that is that you were representing the sellers, the buyers also had their own agent.
Correct.
What were they like to work with?
Yeah, Kimberly Secord with the Secord team over at EXP, she's a total pro. She's a hard negotiator, but she's super fair, and she's really good at what she does, and these are the types of transactions that just don't happen without two professionals that understand how to not only manage clients' expectations, but to also guide them on what to go for, what not to go for, and then they're really the glue, right? It's at the end of the day, they're filtering emotions, or maybe their clients are venting to them, and then they're going, okay, I'm going to synthesize this and put this in a package that actually makes sense to potentially keep this together. But yeah, wouldn't have happened without her.
Right.
It really wouldn't have.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
It takes everybody involved. Yeah.
Two to tango.
Yep, 2 to tango, right. And so this thing closed, buyers are happy, sellers are happy.
Hope so.
Hope so.
Yeah, I mean, we ended up closing just under asking price, which with deferred maintenance and 2 appraisals. We had the buyers did an appraisal, we did a secondary appraisal.
Oh, right.
And so we were able to land at a price that, I mean, I really was happy, and I hope they are happy with the price as well. But especially in a kind of volatile market, was really happy to see it close the way it did. It was a lot of work, a lot of checkpoints, but ultimately it ended up closing. And so it just is another testament to having 2 professionals on each side that understand each step and don't let the emotions get too high, because it's a big deal to buy a house. And that's another episode of really real roller coaster real estate stories.
Thanks for joining us.
Boom.